Alabama's Crimson Tide continues to hold on to their #1 spot in the nation.
In the season's first BCS standing, the Tide came out on top. More now in our top story. The Tide defeated the Missouri Tigers over the weekend in Columbia. A rain delay did little to slow down the Tide, and the Tide cruised on to a 42-10 victory over the Tigers. This week, Bama now getting ready to take on one of its oldest rivals, the Tennessee Vols. Alabama head coach Nick Saban says the two teams have a rich history.
You know, games like this game is more about the rivalry and less about people's record. Tennessee has a really, really good offensive team. It's always a challenge to play on the road, and this is certainly a challenging place to play. But, you know, they have one of the best offensive teams in the country. Statistically, they've got two great receivers who are some of the top receivers in our conference. They have a very, very good quarterback who's done a fantastic job for them this year.
The Crimson Tide will face the Tennessee Vols this Saturday in Knoxville. Kickoff for this one, 6 p.m. The game will air on ESPN.
On your Education Watch, WVUA is covering Hale County. The spotlight is shining bright on Moundville Elementary School students' test scores. WVUA's Jennifer Edwards has that story.
2 times 6. 12.
4 times 3.
4 times 3 is 12.
Good job.
Out of 45 schools in West Alabama, according to Principal Ronnie Gardner, Moundville Elementary sits at the top of the list when it comes to math test scores.
I'm pretty proud to say we've done extremely well. The last 3 years, our scores have been outstanding in the area of math.
Garner says the key to the student success is his faculty and staff's hard work and dedication. They meet once a week to zero in on each individual student's needs.
We put individual plans in place for each student. So we do a lot of collaborating, and I think that's been one of our main things that has really pushed us over the top with test scores.
We do a lot of modeling and practice, and we motivate the students by having reward days when they do well on the test.
Third grade teacher Jackie Rogers says all Moundville teachers try to make learning enjoyable for their students.
We use all sorts of games and songs. I do a lot of singing of teaching concepts in my classroom, and we just have fun, try to make learning fun other than pencil and paper activities.
Although a lot of what the students learn happens inside the school, faculty members say it's parents' participation at home that plays a big role in their success.
When they get home, the parents do an excellent job of supporting what we do here, making sure the kids follow through with what we've asked them to do.
And when it comes to reading test scores, Garner says Moundville is ranked 8th in West Alabama. Reporting in Hale County, Jennifer Edwards, WVUA News.
And when it comes to combined math and reading test scores, according to Garner, Moundville Elementary is ranked 3rd in West Alabama, right behind Tuscaloosa Magnet School and Verna Elementary.
A Tuscaloosa man has died in a motorcycle crash. According to state troopers, 41-year-old Kevin Terrell Martin was killed when his 2003 Suzuki GSX left the wet road and traveled into a ditch. Authorities say it happened just after midnight on Old Marion Road, about 3.5 miles south of Tuscaloosa. State troopers are investigating this crash.
Governor Robert Bentley is proposing new legislation for state employees to voluntarily retire. Bentley says the plan would either pay 100% of monthly premiums for health insurance for 5 years or offer $15,000 in cash payments. The retirement incentives would be available to employees of the executive, judicial, and legislative branches and would not be available to education employees. But officials say there may be an education retirement plan to be announced later.
Well, it's hard to believe, but we are 22 days away from the November 6th election. The voter registration deadline is even earlier than that.
So what does it take to register and how long does it take? WVUA reporter Mary Beth Harrison takes you step by step through the process and even registers to vote herself.
The 57th U.S. presidential election is just a few weeks away, and voters in Tuscaloosa say there is no excuse not to vote.
It's important to be a part of the political process. You should, if you don't vote, then you really don't have a right to complain about what's going on in the world.
The Tuscaloosa Board of Registrar's office wants to make it easy for people to register with display boards highlighting the steps.
Check the boxes at the top that show that you're a citizen and at least 18 years of age, ID number, which can be your driver's license or the last four of your social, the address where you reside, the date of birth, their race, their sex, and then they need to sign and date it.
Registrar Sarah McFarland says one of the most important things to remember: don't wait too late.
We highly recommend that people come in this week and not wait until next week, which is the cutoff next Friday at 5 p.m. We'll check it before you leave to make sure you filled it out right.
Because time is running out, I'm going to take you inside and show you just how easy it is to register to vote. To register to vote, all you need is your driver's license number, a pen, and a form. So how long do you think this takes? Let's see. It only takes 2 minutes and 10 seconds to exercise your right to vote.
If you don't register to vote and you don't actually practice your right to vote, you're giving your voice to someone else because you're not imparting your own opinion into the politics.
Registration officials say this close to the deadline, you need to deliver your form in person instead of mailing it. Reporting in Tuscaloosa, Mary Beth Harrison, WVUA News.
And the Tuscaloosa County Annex is located on the corner of 7th Street and Lurleen B. Wallace Boulevard. The Board of Registrars is in Suite 200, and you can find more information at the Alabama Secretary of State website for a shortcut. Just go to WVUATV.com and click on Numbers and Links. Now, still to come here on WVUA News at 6. The next presidential debate is tomorrow, and we have a preview, and we'll show you how the candidates are getting ready. That's next.
And coming up in home team weather, very mild this evening. 74 now in Tuscaloosa, 72 in Haleyville. How cold's going to get tonight? And how about y'all important weekend forecast? Weather straight ahead, so stick around.
Crimson Tide head coach Nick Saban addressed the media today. Gary Harris will have the latest for you in Alabama's home team sports.